Great. So, welcome to Bulgaria for the second time.
Thank you.
Okay, we guess you were satisfied with your performance, the crowd the last time, so that's the reason you're coming back.
Yeah, it was excellent. We had a really cool time last time. Great show, great party after, met loads of great people. It's nice to come back, but things are a little different this time, I guess.
Well, I hope they're not too different. Okay, last time you were inviting some fans to share some beers with you and have a chat, as you said. Now you also have a lot of planned activities to do. You were in some club to see Bulgarian bands, is that right?
Yeah.
How was it?
That was good. Had some nice food again, met loads of nice people, signed some stuff and talked. It was good.
Great. So, okay, and you're performing the entire The Force on this tour. And if you had to choose any other album, what would it be?
Well, any of our albums.
Your albums, of course.
Yeah.
Not a Slayer album.
Yeah. Sounds of Violence, but I guess that's too new, and we've been recently touring that anyway. So it's been out 18 months. I guess we've toured all around the world with that album now, so it was time to do something a little bit different just before we go in and make a new record. You know? So fans have asked us to play this album in its entirety for a long time. It was a good opportunity to go and do something a little different.
That's great. And you're not signed to any major label. You were not signed to any major label. And is this the reason you didn't have a big breakthrough? I mean.
Well, this time, right?
Well, you were not at a big label at any time. So is that the reason that the band is not so popular nowadays?
We were actually with Polygram for In Search of Sandy, which sold a lot of copies, but it's not necessarily an album we consider one of our best albums or a typical Onslaught album, but it did sell. It was a massive selling album for us, even though I think the other albums, if we'd have had, say, Sounds of Violence or Killing Peace with a major label, I think it could have been a lot different. But no, I mean, AFM are doing good for us. Obviously, it would be nice to be with a major label again, but I don't think major labels really look at thrash as a product these days. It needs to stay with the independents, which do a good job.
That's great. And in the golden ages of thrash music, the end of the 80s, the British scene wasn't as strong as the American. I mean, there are a lot of bands that were American, that were German. But you had some interesting bands like Sabbath, Centrix, Your Reanimator, Acid Rain. So, do you have any explanation about that? Why so many bands in the other countries? And
I don't know, we were discussing it earlier, it was kind of weird. Everybody seemed to be happy to be a fan rather than in a band. So the Americans had the guitar institutes and stuff, and everybody wanted to be a musician over there. I think that's why they had so many bands, but in the UK we had nothing like that. There weren't a great deal of musicians anywhere in the country. If you needed somebody in the band for a part of the lineup, it was very difficult to find somebody who was actually very good. So I don't know, I think it just appeared everybody, the scene as fans was massive thrash, but not bands. That's why we only had so few bands compared with Germany and America. I just put it down to the lack of musicians really.
Yeah. And that was in the 80s. Are you now interested in other British bands like Eva, SSS, Gamma Bomb? And what is your opinion regarding the generation of the old school style versus those bands?
I mean, it's nice that you've got a new generation of bands coming through, but I think the strong thing about thrash in 2012 or the last few years is that all the original bands are still here making great records. Exodus are putting out good stuff, Overkill, Testament, Onslaught, Creator. I mean, everybody's putting out great records, so I think it's kind of keeping the newer bands out there because the older bands are making such great music, and I think that's why the scene's so strong.
And do you think that the world needs the new bands? As you said, the old bands are good enough.
I think if there's going to be new bands, they've got to do something different. A lot of the bands just seem to come along and try and play what all the old school bands are doing, and they've got no chance of breaking through because all the original bands
are still here.
So they need to go off and take it somewhere else, I think, to try and create a new angle on it, but not a lot of them seem to do that. kind of strange.
Yeah. And what do you think about those new modern wave of metal? UK is a strong country compared to the others, with bands like Bullet for a Valentine, Funeral for a Friend, Bring the Horizon. Okay, what do you think?
Not a lot, to be honest. It's not my thing at all. I really don't get into the stuff like that. No, it's not for me. I'm afraid.
Okay, and if you were starting the band nowadays, just nowadays, what would you do? In other words, do you think that it would be easier for you to have your breakthrough now compared to the old days?
Nah, I'd hate to start a new band.
No,
sorry. In this day and age.
I didn't make myself clear. If you were starting Onslaught in 2012, for example, do you think that it would be easier for you?
No, definitely not. There's so many bands out there, and because of the situation with the downloading, illegal downloading, the labels don't invest in young bands anymore like they used to. I think it'd be really hard. I'd really not like to be starting off in 2012. It was kind of a lot easier back when we started. Just because labels were always looking for bands, the indie labels were looking for bands, majors were looking for bands, and it was a step. But now they just don't want to take no risks. The deals they offer are really bad for bands. They take all the money, publishing, merchandise, record sales. The bands don't earn. They don't earn from playing live. They got paid to play live, or paid to support. It's really tough.
Yeah, and is the internet a bliss for you or as a curse?
Both really. We kind of done everything with the traditional mail way back in the 80s, you know.
The tape trading scene.
Send off a mail or a tape and it would come back like 3 weeks, 4 weeks later from South America and stuff like that. That was constant, we were doing that all the time. But obviously the internet is such one-touch access to the other side of the world, which is fantastic. It allows us to speak to people, speak to promoters and fans direct very quickly. But then, as you say, there's the other side of things with the illegal downloading, which has really kind of killed the scene as such. So there is one side good, one side bad, so you've got to take the rough with the sweet, I guess.
I understand. And are you guys interested in some insane stuff, same music, or you have fights, what to listen to, turbos?
No, we all got our own personal headphones and stuff. I'm still listening to the same old stuff I listened to back in the day. Discharge and kind of things like that. Old school, fun, thrash, nothing changes.
Yeah. Okay, it's obvious you're interested in metal and beer, but what about football? What's your favorite team? And, if you're not interested in football, that doesn't mean you're British, you know.
No, don't get me talking on football. It's my favourite team, Chelsea. I'm a season ticket holder at Chelsea in many years. So that's my other major passion outside the band. I spend lots of time with my boys going to football and watching football. So.
That's great. And okay, do you have any other hobbies? I mean, books, movies, and are you going to other concerts and festivals as a fan?
Not really got a lot of time, to be honest, for other hobbies. Obviously, I run a business at home. We've got the band to work on, which is really taking up more and more time. So many shows, I'm writing a new album, and obviously got football. So really, not much free time, but I try to get, if there's any local shows where I live, I'll go and check out some bands. I still like to do that. It's nice to relax doing that.
Great. And thank you very much for this interview. And could you say some cool final words for the readers of Metal Hangar 18?
I'd just like to say thank you, Bulgaria, for all your support over the years. Last time was absolutely amazing. We had such a fantastic day and evening here, and just hope it's as good tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.